I went to Lollapalooza at Waterloo Village with my friend Tim Donnelly, who was working at the time for the Surfrider Foundation.
Mhm.
And he had an opportunity to interview Ed because he, was obviously involved in surfing and the Surfrider Foundation. So he agreed to be interviewed. And so he was like, man, you should come along, like bring your camera and we'll just go hang out and talk, do this interview. And I said, okay, that's cool. So we showed up, and I recall that they weren't letting anybody backstage. We thought we'd go backstage and hang with him in his room or whatever. And this was 10 had just been released. Um, and they wouldn't let us back. So Ed, and I don't even know why he didn't, maybe it was because of where we were at the time, but he didn't use the gate. He climbed over the fence um to meet Tim and I, and we just wandered over by some trailers, maybe they were merch trailers or something. um and we sat down and started to talk, and he was uh very humble and very relaxed, and his voice is so rich and interesting, and we were like, wow, this is the guy who's singing those songs. This is incredible. And he was really kind to us. They talked about Surfrider, and he gave a great interview. And afterwards, I just said, "Do you mind if I grab a couple of photographs of you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I basically was like, "Yeah, don't well, At one point, I was just, "Yeah, just don't move from where you are. This looks great." And I had an old Rolleiflex, which is like a twin lens camera that you look down into, and that was my medium format camera at the time for you photo geeks. And I, grabbed some nice portraits of him, and just it just seemed like such a great timing to capture someone at the beginning of their career, and who had just made such a great record and had an interesting story. And then we continued. I shot a couple other photos of him, one which ended up being on the cover of Spin magazine a little bit later on. And and then we went to the show. Tim and I went to their set at Lollapalooza, and we we were just in the middle of kind of the mosh pit in a way, and getting knocked around, and all the energy was incredible. And then next thing you know, Ed's climbing up on the scaffolding there, and we're like, is this the same guy that we were just sitting and like chilling out with? Like, this guy's an animal.